So Parvati's on rate up with Kama, and I know a lot of people are pulling not just like one copy of Parvati, but numerous copies of Parvati. And the natural question to ask is, well, I'm getting this like NP3 to potentially even like an NP5 unit. Is she any good, and is she worth using? And that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. But before we begin, if you enjoy this content, I upload Fate videos every single day, so go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. It helps the channel out. But now let's talk about Parvati. So looking at her hits, you look at that NP charge stat, and it is really, really good. Almost a 1.1 NP charge per attack, and you don't even care that she has one arts card with 2 hits because she's a quick servant, so she also has those 2 quick cards with 3 hits on them, meaning she's going to be genning some pretty nice NP back. Also, she does have the 5 hits on the extra attack, which is something that we really like to see around here. That is like the golden standard. And overall, it makes her hits pretty good. Her star gen stat is actually pretty decent as well. Kind of just going to mention that because as a quick servant, you would hope she'd be able to gen some decent stars. And yeah, she'll make some pretty decent stars. You know, with that star gen stat, she'll do pretty fine. Now, looking at her first skill, already very phenomenal for a quick servant, because quick servants, they have the ability to gen NP, but they have less of an ability than arts cards. So when you have a skill like this that is 30% quick performance and 30% NP gen, it is super dummy good for a servant like Parvati, because you're basically making her quick cards arts cards almost in the level of NP gen you're giving them, because the quick buff not only buffs the damage of the quick card, gives it more ability to gen stars, but it also is buffing that NP generation rate that the quick cards already have. And then this additional NP gen rate specifically is like steroiding that ability itself, so she can actually gen her NP very, very well, on top of her already very, very good NP gen attack stat. So they're basically saying that, like, yeah, Parvati, she's going to gen her NP quite well. Like, she's going to be genning her NP very easily. She's going to be a phenomenal looper. Then there's her second skill, which is like her steroid big dick skill, right? Because she's getting 50% attack, 50% defense, 100% star gen, and 100% debuff resistance, all for 1 turn. This is like huge Big Mac Daddy the skill, right? Because she's getting a lot of extra damage, a lot of extra defense, and she's going to be genning hella stars all over the place for 1 turn. This is obviously the skill you're going to pop when you're going up against like wave 3 or something in a farming setup, but this is also very good for like challenge quests, just considering that she's getting 50% defense and 100% debuff resistance for 1 turn, on top of her natural like 45% debuff resistance that she has for her passives. Yeah, this is going to be a very strong turn for Kama. And something to note, both of these skills have been on a 5-turn cooldown. Meaning it's not like you're going to get this super Big Mac Daddy skill and then only see it once every 8 turns, but no, you're going to see it once every 5 turns, and that's really, really strong. Then there's kind of a unique skill that Kama has, because most of the time you're just going to use it to charge Kama's NP. Not Kama, Parvati. Forgive me for the slip up, but Parvati's NP. You're going to be charging 10% of her NP, but you can use this to charge just any ally's NP by 20%. As well as giving them a nice 3k heal every like 5 turns, which is very, very powerful. Now, again, like I'm saying, you're mostly going to use this in farming setups to give Parvati, not Kama, that extra 10% NP that she needs, but it can be very good in like challenge quests. Like Parvati, as you can kind of see, has this nice little mini support niche that she could kind of fall into in a challenge quest, because she can give somebody a decent heal, she can give them a little bit of NP, and then for 1 turn, you know, she turns into a juggernaut. She's going to be able to drop a lot of stars for everybody, kind of handle her own NP gen by herself, like a very, very just solid servant overall. But then you go to her NP, and her NP is giving more NP to the entire party, and it has a chance to stun all enemies for 1 turn, which just further helps Parvati's like team utility, because now she's giving at bare minimum 10% NP every time she fires her NP, right? Which helps everybody else out, and having the ability to completely charm lock the opponents is very, very powerful. So overall, Parvati is a very, very strong servant. If you summoned for Kama, which I know a lot of people did, and you got numerous copies of Parvati, that's not an L, that's very, very good. especially because we're in the Scotty meta right now. Parvati is one of those go-to farming servants. I know the Valkyries came out, and maybe I could do a video comparing Parvati to the Valkyries. I don't think that's all that necessary, but I still would use Parvati over the Valkyries. Even though they serve a very similar purpose, I just think Parvati does it better. And I think her kit is just a bit more cohesive, so you're going to be using her as like almost your go-to quick lancer for a long time. The only reason I don't think you would use Parvati is say you have somebody like Lancelot already at like NP4, NP5, or you have Edmund Dantes at like higher NP levels. You're obviously going to go with them first over Parvati. And then the fact that they can be used anywhere else just because like Berserker and Avenger class, so they're like just neutrally good everywhere, you're probably going to go with them first. But still, I wouldn't count Parvati out, especially in things like Oku right now, where she's like an event bonus servant where like Lancelot and Dantes aren't. So now you can actually bring her out and she's the better pick to use. Even potentially with like the higher event damage bonuses that you get, you might actually even be able to bring her to like type neutral stages and like use her very well there as well. So all I'm saying is that Parvati's not an L. She's very, very strong. You should be very happy if you did pull her, and make sure you level up them skills, man. But with that being said, I would appreciate if you guys would leave a like and subscribe. It really does help the channel out. We're making some pretty steady, nice growth here on the channel, which is nice because I started as kind of just a little gimmick channel where I was just like, I want to talk about Fate. Let me make a channel to talk about Fate. And it's actually kind of turning into something, which is making me pretty happy. So leave a like and subscribe. It makes me happy. It supports the channel. It's free, you know? You do that and you get free Fate content every day, dude. If you like Fate videos and you're always feeling like, man, there's a drought of Fate content, then I'm the guy, man. I'm doing Fate videos every single day. I'd also love to hear you guys' thoughts in the comments down below. What do you guys think of Parvati? And would you guys want to see me do a video on Parvati versus the Valkyries? Because I feel like that might be a topic that might crop up right around now. And there's a lot of people that like to get very contrarian with things, or they like to kind of poke holes at people, I guess for lack of a better term. Where you're like, oh yeah, I got but Parvati, and I'm really happy about it. And they're like, well, actually, it's like, maybe you wouldn't use her because the Valkyries are better. Like, people get real smug and things, so maybe I could do a video on that if you guys are interested in that. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. You guys have yourselves a nice day. Peace, late, guys.